I think the French are very good in critical thinking. They're not super obedient, disciplined type of guys. But imagine someone that's like your husband complaining about his wife all the time, or vice versa, whatever, and still sticks with that person. Don't bother me with you sound like you hate your wife so much, or your husband, whatever, and you're gonna stick to that person. If you want to do something about it, leave that person off. So I'm making a video here, standing in my home. I just came back from work, so yeah, I should get myself in comfortable clothes, but it's fitting the video to be in a suit right now to explain what I'm doing for a living. I'm a French teacher and how I work. So it's kind of funny because I suit up for the kids and teenagers. They relax, they don't care. I can have only the shirt, it's okay, But I'm like, if you want to do like in Rome, you need to do like the romance. You need to, you need to adapt the society. It's the society's game. So that's why I'm dressing up like this. I'm suiting up, everything fine, okay, good. And the students like me because I think so. I dare to think so. Because I'm playful with them. I have no ego despite all this ego-like clothes, where you take yourself seriously and everything. And I buy them candies. I corrupt them. Yeah, let's be honest. I just give them a candy at the start of each class. Some dopamine trigger. And then I give them a few things to follow and do a small exercise. Check if they understood everything correctly. Get another candy during the exercise. One more after. If they're like primary schools, I make them run towards the right drawing because I do a drawing with the name on it to master some kinds of vocabulary in French. They repeat after me, okay, good. Then I take off the names after they copied everything. It's good to make them sprint. I think it's relevant. They cannot sit down too long. I think the classes are 40 minutes in the school where I work. I think it's a smart move. It's good this way because 1 hour would be way too long for the attention span, the focus and everything. 40 minutes is great. And even inside the 40 minutes, they need to be like some games easily. For the kids, like the game should be almost half of the class, like 15 minutes at least. For the teenagers to relax a bit can be like 5 to 10 minutes within this class. Then, of course, there's a balance. You cannot act with too much authority. You're like the uncool teacher, the strict one. But if you like too nice, the friendly guy who think they're amazing no matter what, you don't see progress. So that's pity. For this, of course, I try tell them like, look, I'm your friend. Don't disappoint me. I'm acting this way like a good cop, like I'm on your side. So don't disappoint me on that one. Do the things correctly now. I gave you all the tools to succeed the exercise or to do some stuff at home as a homework or whatever. Do it for me, please. I'm not gonna ask you too much though. If you honor that trust, it makes sense. So that's what I'm doing so far. And I want also at some point, not always, not so fast, but they get it. Like one of the part of the identity of the French culture has been all these revolution vibes, revolution/protest vibes, which sometimes, to be honest, I like it. Well, because I'm French, I'm gonna say I like it, but not always. If you do a stupid revolution, you don't go the right way. I would have said, for example, it's an example, the Islamist revolution in Iran. Now, because of Iran, things are like common, and I was in Iran, so I saw it myself. It was like a conservative revolution to go backward, and while some other revolutions you go a bit forward. Then, of course, what is sad with revolutions, there is the blood shed and everything. It's violent, messy and everything. But yeah, the French are famous for this identity, and for the best and the worst, because I like in French people. I'm talking about my people, and I'm going to talk about what I dislike a lot. And I traveled to 60 countries. I traveled a lot. So I can say stuff I like that I could not see before because I thought it was worldwide. And then I went to the outside. I went to different places, different cultures. Oh yeah, it's true that this is missing. I went back to France. Yeah, it's great. So that would be critical thinking. I think the French are very good in critical thinking. They're not super obedient, disciplined type of guys, but out of their own free will, they may do the good things for you. And they may work well, like quite well, even if they work less. Productivity-wise, they're quite good. Maybe because there's some well-being. They're not workaholic like the Japanese. They're not about sacrifice all their life for work. So there's a time for work and there's a time for relaxing, playing, go to vacation, whatever. You don't owe anything to your boss. I like that mindset. And it came out of many, many protest stuff. And all these protests and revolutions, eventually, rebellion, this rebel spirit came out of this critical thinking. Tak, tak, tak. You follow the steps, right? And this critical thinking is very good, I think. But now you go to the negative part. You can turn it into endless complaint. And I agree, French are famous for complaining, for the best and the worst as well. But an English guy, an English and French used to fight a lot together. And then they became frenemies and allies against the Nazis and everything. Okay. An English guy told me there are two types of complaints. There's the I complain for complaining, and there's the I complain, therefore I'm gonna make something about it. I like the second type of complaint. If you complain, you're human. Of course it's good to complain. But imagine someone that's like a husband complaining about his wife all the time, or vice versa, whatever, and still sticks with that person. It's like, don't bother me with you sound like you hate your wife so much, or husband, whatever. And you're gonna stick to that person. If you want to do something about it, leave that person. Or find a solution for your complaints. Or whatever. Resolve your fights and stop fighting to bother me, But these kind of people, they are people, they may like to complain for the sake of complaining. And they don't want to find any solution out of it. Just because it's cool to complain, that's it. Let's move on. Let's move on from what? You just threw a lot of negative energy to my face. I understand life is not always pink and idealistic, like yada yada, but you still have to do something about it. Otherwise, what's the point to complain about that all the time? Sometimes you're confused about the own solution by yourself. I get it, okay. But if you complained, then you got a plan to get rid of that complaint. Maybe in the future you're going to have new complaints, don't worry. Then I'm like, okay, you makes sense, makes a lot of sense. So I nod to your own complaint. I'm like, okay. At least you did something about it. That's something I like. But if it's to just complain for complaining, and also when in the name of this so-called critical thinking, when everything is good and almost great, but you don't notice it, you kind of ungrateful, because in the name of your critical thinking, you got to say, but everything is great. That's it. But no, everything is great, but yeah, you find out few things that were not right in the name of your critical thinking. But sometimes, splitting into a problem to find the positive, the negative, you split into again, positive and negative. And if you will always find a reason to find something negative at everything. Sometimes you should relax and accept a nice situation if ever you're wise enough to recognize you're having a nice situation. So I give you a personal example because I'm here to talk about my life, I guess also. I could complain a few times about my school. Why are they doing this? Doesn't make sense. Why are they asking such a thing or whatever? And I'm like, wait a minute. You're privileged. Yeah, it's so privileged. I'm like, yeah, I am. Oh, good. I said it. Normally, people get on defensive about it. Even if they're privileged. I don't know why. Some people cannot recognize it. No, but I got the hard life in the past. Yeah, okay, me too sometimes. Okay, I got broke, super broke, whatever. Yeah, man. It's you like to play your life in hard mode to say, you're not feeling right because this. There will always be a reason. Can't you just say, yeah, I'm privileged. Everything is great. At least in that situation right now. So great. My resolutions for 2026, I was like, I don't know what I want extra. Keep it same as 2025 was awesome already. So it's great. If you think like this, you always have to be hard on yourself with these new resolutions. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and then you're like, you what you need to remake all your life, the life you just the year you just lived should be almost forgotten because you made some mistakes. And it's please, let's not think about it anymore. Enjoy thinking about your past year or the 2 years ago, and enjoy that year too. And this year should be as awesome as the previous one. I wish you that. It's kind of conformist to say, yeah, for you, new resolutions, I plan to become a better man, win more money, and I'll be a giver as well. But no, I plan to change nothing. And even if I plan to change nothing, there will be changes. And even if you plan to change something, there may be no changes. So relax, you don't control the world. Maybe God, I don't believe in God, but if, as a metaphor, can have resolutions for you for this year or for in general the earth or whatever. But you're you're a little lost soul in the middle of the world, saying, well, for this year, I plan to stop hunger and then I plan to do this and I plan to reestablish social equity among all societies around the world. You're not going to say this. And even about yourself at your own scale, yeah, I plan to quit smoking. Oh, I don't smoke, but you are plan to do more sport and more this and more that. Yeah, cool. You could have done it on the 30th of December or the 29th or the 31st or whatever. Why you have to, you got to wait, lazy ass. You got to wait until the 1st of January to start the resolutions. And maybe after this, start now. Okay. Why need to wait a specific timeline or whatever? The year of 2025 was good and I plan to keep it good. And there will be changes. I plan to travel to China, Mongolia, China, Tibet, and East Indian, back to like Central Asia. Plan to do loop somewhere like this. If I do it on summer, amazing. But let's see. But as long as I plan seriously, but even if the plans change, it's gonna be still amazing. Oh my god, I'm talking like Trump doing this. Well, whatever. Okay. Cheers.